Okay, doing a new experiment now. Both the woods are aspen, the spindle and the hearth, and this is in grain. Cut a piece off of a bigger chunk here, and so I'm going to do the in grain first and then make a hearth out of this with the side grain, and we'll compare them. That doesn't seem to be making a coal. Went all the way down to the bottom. I think we do have a coal. Phew, that was hard work though. I spun for a long time because it was making plastic type coal dust, and I knew I was pressing too hard, so I let up and spun it a long time, and then toward the last I pushed it harder. So we do have a viable coal. But you can see that it went all the way down. But a really good coal. But boy, I had to work. This is in grain. Next part of the video is taking one of these pieces, probably this one, thinning it down a little bit and doing a side grain with it. But that's a good coal. So let's see if it's easier with this. Still making up a coal, a little bit slow going there. I'll focus in on it more while we're waiting. Here we go. Now I see a little bit of red starting to go in the center. That's kind of a slow going coal, but definitely a good one. So aspen and aspen in grain. Now we're going to use the same spindle for the side grain. Okay, that's enough. You can see it's really a good coal. Okay, now we have the experiment continuing. We have a side grain, and we have the same spindle. It's been burned in and notched for the everything. So let's see how this works now compared to the end grain. I need to make this a little bit more notchy here so it can fall down better. There we go. I don't think I have a coal yet. I think I have one now. Yeah, it's cool. So, not a whole lot of difference. This one definitely didn't go down as far, which I'm not sure what to say about that. Both are softwoods, the same woods. Anyway, I'll zoom in on this one too. So here's the result of this, which doesn't concur with my other experiment. I got room enough really for another coal, about 2/3 of the way. The end grain one was pretty much all the way, and this is slightly bigger coal, so I might not have needed to go down so far with this one. So in conclusion, I would say that this would be the fastest method because you have to push harder for this one. Harder woods, if both of them were hardwoods, and the spindle, I would say the end grain way would be a good way to go because you could push harder and it would withstand it. But with softwoods, I think this is the way to go, the side grain. Anyway, we both got great coals. This one's a little bit bigger than the previous one with the end grain. So I guess a few conclusions. You can do a bow drill with either end grain or side grain. The end grain is harder to cut a piece out sometimes if it's harder wood. This is aspen, so it's softer, and I was able to use this saw here to cut it out, so that would be okay in the field. And the spindles are easy to make, and the hearth as well because of the softer wood. So aspen on aspen, two ways of doing it, in grain and side grain, pretty much equal. The pressure I had to do on this one was a little bit less. I made a bigger coal. This one I had to press harder on the end grain, and it went almost all the way through. And the hearth boards aren't as thick either. This one's thinner than this one, so probably I went the same depth on both when you look at it equally if you put them side by side. So I'd say that it's easier to make a bigger coal with the side grain than it is with the end grain. And if you have harder woods, it might be a better way to go. If you have both a hardwood and hardwood, it gives you more time on the end grains if you can cut this piece out. I would still go with this side grain as being the best type of one to do because they're just easier to make. But interesting results. End grain, you can push harder. Side grains, if you push too hard, you go down too fast. And they both make coals. So you can draw your own conclusions and watch the video. But I'm going to stick with the side grain here because it's just easier to make a kit up versus trying to cut out a round here. And you notice it got out a round as it went down too, and I'm not sure if it's just my poor drilling or what, but draw your own conclusions. But I tried to keep everything equal. This is not the heartwood. Here's the heartwood right here. This is how far away it is, and here's the heartwood right in here, so that's about the same distance away from the heartwood, so that's pretty equal. So you can't say one over the other on that. Only thing I can really say is the end grain, you can push harder, or you have to push harder at times to get a viable coal going. So that's the experiment. Thank you.